a pretty dark history when it comes to LGBTIQ people, and it's not ancient history, it's in our very recent past. And until we deal with that and we face up to what has gone on, it's very difficult to move forward. So this is a really important step in healing, in acknowledging past wrongs, in honouring the memory of these people who were murdered, and a path towards reconciliation, I guess.
Could prosecutions follow as a result of this inquiry?
Yes, the way it has been structured, it means that there's a lot of powers to call witnesses and to really investigate these crimes. And we could well see people being prosecuted and even convicted for these crimes.
All right, you did speak briefly earlier about the reparations that could happen as a result of this inquiry. Do you think it's primarily about an acknowledgement about what took place, or is this about an apology and or compensation?
It could be all of those. Unfortunately, these days reparations is treated synonymously with compensation, and that's not really what it means at all. Reparations is from the Latin word for repair, so to mend, to fix past wrongs. There's a lot of past injustices that need to be addressed. An apology, we know, is very healing. We've seen it to Indigenous people, we've seen it to forced adoptions. So an apology for the people who were the subjects, the victims of these homophobic crimes, would be a very important step forward. Compensation is not common. There's only been 3 countries where there has been compensation paid for wrongs done to gays, and that tends to be individuals who were, for example, imprisoned or put in mental institutions because of their sexual orientation. So it would be a mistake to think this is all about getting money. It's really about acknowledging the wrong, coming to terms with that, not sweeping it under the carpet.
What kind of support will people sharing their stories and their families likely need as this inquiry gets underway?
We do know that reliving these traumatic events can be very painful. So there will be a need for a lot of support, both professional support and from family and friends and the community, to make sure that these people can share their stories, share their past in a safe and supportive environment.
Would you expect that this inquiry will go some way towards furthering conversation on other issues facing the LGBTI community right now?
Yes, a lot of people seem to think that once we got marriage equality in 2017, then we've achieved equality and there's nothing more to happen. But in fact, we need to keep having these sort of conversations because there is a lot of work that still needs to be done. We still have some jurisdictions where it is legal to engage in conversion therapy or conversion practices, that is to try and change someone's sexual orientation or gender identity. We have the religious discrimination bill being considered in federal parliament that is basically going to sanction bigotry. And we still have LGBTIQ people being fired from their positions because of their sexuality. And I'm not talking about years ago. 2 lesbian teachers in Sydney this year have been fired when they came out as being gay. And Scott Morrison promised 2 years ago that he would change the law so that LGBTIQ students couldn't be expelled from religious schools. We're still waiting for that reform. So there's still quite a lot of work to be done.
Can you tell us about how other communities, perhaps overseas, have and what their experience has been of looking at past hate crimes and how they've sought to recognise, acknowledge and respond?
Well, we actually don't have to even look overseas. In Victoria a few years ago, the Premier gave a very powerful apology to people who had been prosecuted for being gay. And what he said is those laws were wrong back then and they're wrong today. It should never have happened. And he gave an unequivocal apology. I was sitting in Parliament when that happened, and it was a very emotional and moving and healing moment. We have seen, though, overseas, Canada has had a commission into hate crimes against LGBTIQ people, and we've seen that it really does move the conversation forward. It improves respect and dignity of LGBTIQ people, and it does go away to healing the relationship between authorities who are mistrusted when they have sanctioned crimes being perpetrated against them by not prosecuting the perpetrators.